YouTube, what's going on, man? Trey Santana back with another video. Hey, I did not know that T.I. had a apparently a podcast channel, but Cam Newton asked T.I. about Gunna silence, and I know T.I. gonna really have something long and drawn out probably to say about it. So let's see what he got to say.
I had a conversation with Lucci, and I think the specifics of my curiosity came when
What the fuck type magic wand outfit wizard shit do he got on right now, gang? This nigga is losing it. There's no way you can explain this fit, bro. You no. Come on, Cam. Come on. Come on, Cam.
yes, everybody knows what I'm talking about, but avoids being on record by saying certain things. But I would say this: what if Gunna wakes up because he hasn't spoke? He's used
to his advantage.
He has made music, popped out places, but without talking about what people really want to know.
Mm-hmm.
If he were to say, you know what, I'm going to come on Expeditiously, or I want to come on Funky Friday,
I will welcome him.
And how would that counseling situation be?
I've spoken to Gunna.
Okay.
I've spoken to him.
Hold on. We ain't even gonna disrespect T.I. like that. I'm gonna get up out his way so he can say what he need to say, and we can enjoy this video. You feel me? Let's get straight into it.
When the indictment came down, he called me and asked me for a suggestion of what lawyer he should, and I gave him my lawyer.
Hey, one thing I'm gonna say, boy, T.I., that nigga, man, if you don't know, go do your homework, man. I ain't gonna lie, he a little bit before my time, in between my time, like I was growing up, and I heard like my mama listened to him, my daddy listening to him a little bit, but I couldn't catch everything, so now I be having to do my homework on who T.I. really was back then.
Could not go to Brian Steele. He could not go, I don't believe, to Drew Findlay. He couldn't go, so I introduced him to my attorney, which is Steve Sadow. And I introduced him to my attorney. They started talking on their own. And that's when he turned himself in a day or two later.
Oh, I didn't know he turned himself in.
The next time I talked to him, I believe I ain't talked to him. I think I talked to my attorney. And he told me that there was some on the table for Gunna to come home. And I was like, well, can you tell me about it? He's like, we couldn't tell me about it. And Gunna couldn't talk to me, but he had to make a decision. I was like, well, what, and I was interested, but I couldn't know any real details. And
if you would have known the details, and the details was what ended up happening.
Had I known that he would have had to verbally and signed to the same questions that were written, I would just made sure that he knew, if you agree to this, you will be met with adverse opinion.
Mm-hmm.
People will see you as something you don't want to be seen as. And I feel like this just me my
I like how he break it down. He very well spoken with it. You feel me? He ain't making it sound too hard or too street, but he letting you know it going down at the same time. You feel me?
But what I know of him, and because I've known him since he was like damn near a teenager, I feel like if I would have, not just me, anybody would have been able to advise him and tell him, he wouldn't have did it. I don't think he would have did it. And I told my attorney the same thing.
But it's like, bro, Gunna claimed to be a gang member. I'm pretty sure Gunna claimed to be like a Crip, if I'm not mistaken. You feel me? He be with YSL. At the end of the day, you a man. So you got to know certain shit. Like, come on, I can't give him all that. Like, you ain't know somebody had to tell you because you a man at the end of the day. You feel me?
Don't understand. He don't come from where we come from.
Absolutely not.
So he don't say, what's the big deal? They can't.
You're coming home.
You're coming home. They can't use it.
But okay, he not coming from where y'all coming from, but that's what the people think. So that's gonna be the expectations for him. You feel what I'm saying?
Against your friend in court.
I don't know where Gunna from.
It's insubmissible. So why does it matter?
It's a win-win.
That's how and I can't argue with him sitting in his seat.
Where is Gunna really from? Is he not from the trenches for real? I know he not from Cleveland Ave, like where Young Thug and shit from, but I don't know where Gunna is from.
I say, okay. And I broke it down to him this way. I say, well, Steve.
But I thought Gunna came Crip or something. I don't know. My fault. I ain't mean to throw
You
that
didn't
shit
call
up.
him a nigga, did you?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't. But I said, well, Steve, first of all, you got to understand the origins of police. Police, the concept of police men and policing came from when people had to capture, return slaves.
Okay, my fault. I thought he was talking about Gunna not from where we from. He was talking about Gunna's lawyer not being from where he from, so he don't understand the street logic.
To plantations and slave owners. So that means the first snitches were people who told
On
slaves that were running for their freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to remind him. I said, also, it is a scientific fact that trauma is passed down through DNA. So if there was a slave that had ran away and had been told on by someone who was his buddy, who he stood next to in the fields, and when he was captured, beat, and brought back, and found out the reason he was caught was because of his friend
his
that
partner
was now in the house and not in the field because of the information he provided, that pain, that betrayal would be passed down generationally.
Appreciate you, Professor T.I. You feel me? I needed that. You feel me? You learn something new every day. That's why I came to fuck with T.I. Why y'all ain't tell me T.I. had a podcast? I would have been listening.
Through the semen by way of his DNA. So his son, his grandson, his granddaughter, his great-grandson would all
be snitches.
They would feel the impact of him being snitched on. So much to their, like, they don't even know why when they hear about somebody being told on, they just have an adverse reaction to it. See, and that is the reason why that shit impacts us in such a way why we just can't let it go.
Is he just chatting right now, bruh? I don't know.
That's why white folk don't give a damn about who they tell on. They tell them, man, he did it. He did it. He told me to.
I don't feel like it's a DNA thing. I just feel like it's a culture thing for real, for real. Like, that's kind of what you grow up knowing. You're not as a baby like feeling like fuck a snitch. Like if you grow up somewhere that's not with all that snitching shit and they don't give a fuck, I guarantee you probably wouldn't give a fuck neither, bro. It's not like I don't know.
I didn't want to do it. I started to, but I didn't. But he did it. You know what I mean? Like that's why it doesn't impact other ethnicities the way it does us. Because one, policemen started capturing and returning slaves. Two, trauma is passed down through DNA generationally. That's why we still here talking about why it's so important to not tell on people. That's what I shared with
I ain't gonna count. I don't think Cam hearing that shit right there.
With Mr. Sadow. And he was like, man, he was like, I never thought about it that way. And I had no idea. And
do you think it's worth Thug and Gunna rekindling their relationship?
It's always worth sitting down, having a conversation, figuring out why this relationship might have gotten off track. Mm-hmm. That conversation, if that conversation can put it back on track, it's always worth that conversation. Even if that conversation is not successful, it's worth having that conversation because you never know what can come out of that conversation. It's always worth it. It ain't never a time where you shouldn't sit down and say, okay, where did we go wrong? How could we do better? Still sharp as steel. There may be something Gunna know that Thug don't, and vice versa. It may be something that Thug can offer that Gunna can't, and vice versa. It's all
Y'all think they need to sit down and have that talk, bro? I ain't gonna lie. If I was Thug, I can't even have that talk with you, man. Fuck it.
always
We already here now.
worthwhile to sit down and hear what anybody got to say, as long as they have not been, overtly disrespectful, and what I'm saying. If everybody is willing to sit down with an open mind, it's always valuable.
Hey,
That's how I
shit.
feel.
Mm-hmm.
And at this age, I didn't always feel that.
Yeah, I was just finna say, bro. If you know T.I., bro, this a long way for T.I. You feel me? You feel me? This shit crazy. Hey, y'all let me know what y'all think about that on in the comments. Trey Santana, gang.